Hi, welcome to Business Statistics. My name is Jeff Kinane, and I'll be your teacher. You know, a lot of students are afraid or a little nervous about a class like this, a numbers-based class, a quantitative class. But to understand why it's important for you to study this, let's think about what it is that managers do exactly. Presumably, you all want to be managers of one kind or another. What is it that managers do for a living anyway? And are you prepared to do that? Well, I'll tell you, managers don't do the work. Uh, what managers do is managers solve problems. They solve all kinds of problems. That's what they're for. That's their job. So, are you prepared to solve problems? Now, as soon as you become a manager, or if you are one already, you know that it won't take long before you have a problem to solve of one kind or another. And so, how do you go about solving these problems? Well, there are different approaches to problem solving. You can rely on your experience. You can say, well, we've had this kind of problem before, and this is how we solved it in the past. So I think I'll do that again. But the problem with that is that number one, I don't know you yet, but presumably you're younger people, and you don't have a lot of experience. So that's not going to work very well. And number two, to some degree, all problems are unique, and your experience may or may not be relevant to the particular problem. Well, what else can you do? You can defer to authority, to someone with more experience. You can call your boss every time you have a problem and say, hey, boss, I have a problem. Help me solve this. But pretty soon, your boss is going to decide that they don't really need you if they have to solve all the problems anyway. So that's probably not going to work very well. What else could you do? You could depend on your intuition. You could say, well, it just kind of feels like the right thing to do. Let's go with this. And, sometimes intuition works out okay, and sometimes it doesn't. You could take a poll. You could have a conversation with the people that you're managing, and you could come to a decision collectively. You could take a vote. Say, okay, how many people want to do um, A, or how many people want to do B, and you could come to a decision by consensus. But again, that's kind of an abdication to some degree of what you've been fired for and what you're getting, or what you've been hired for, I'm sorry, and what you're getting paid to do. A more reliable way to solve problems and make decisions is based on data. So we solve our problems in a data-based way, or we can say that we make data-based decisions. If you read the business literature these days, you'll see that data-based decision making is a pretty big topic, that it's well respected, and if you learn how to do this, this is a real business skill, a real marketable business skill that people are willing to pay you to do for them. So that's what we're going to learn in this class. We're going to learn about data-based decision making. And that's what statistics, or at least that's what business statistics is using data to solve business problems or to make business decisions. Now, when I say that, when I say statistics, most of you, or at least some of you, probably think, well, this is a math class and I'm terrified of math. I'm not good at it. I don't want to do it. But don't worry, it is a quantitative class. There is math involved, but you don't do the math. Microsoft Excel does the math, and you will need to have access to Microsoft Excel version 2013 or later. The most recent version is 2019, but anything after 2013 will work, because Microsoft Excel 2013 and later comes with statistical analysis tools that you'll use in this class. Or I guess you could use a calculator and do it on your own. But believe me, it's going to be much simpler if you just use Excel. In fact, your homework and your test will take the form of Microsoft Excel worksheets. So you're going to have Microsoft Excel. And let me tell you that I don't have the time in this class to teach you the basics of Excel. I'll teach you how to use the statistical tools that you'll need in order to complete your homework, but I'm not going to teach you the basics of Excel. So if you don't know that already, you're going to have to get that information someplace else from a computer lab on campus or a friend or a tutor or something. So if you don't need to do the math, you don't have to need to know how to do the math. What you do need to know is what kind of data do I need to collect to make this decision? What kind of tool, what kind of statistical tool do I need to use to analyze the data? And what do the results of the statistical tool mean? And that's what we're going to learn in this class. What kind of problems we can solve, what kind of data we need to solve the problem, how to interpret the data, how to interpret the results that the statistical tool provides. So that shouldn't scare you. It's not math. There's math there. We're going to talk about math, but even if you're bad at math, you can succeed in this class. Now, this is a simple class. The way I have it designed is very simple, which doesn't mean it's easy. Some of you will find this class a little challenging, but the class is simple, not complicated, simple to understand. Every week, you're going to read a chapter in the textbook. You're going to watch a couple of explanatory videos about the principles involved. I'm going to make for you a demo in Excel showing how to solve the kinds of problems you'll have to do on your homework. On every chapter, there'll be a discussion board. You can ask me questions. Now, let me tell you that I don't live in Juneau. I don't live in Alaska. I don't even live in the same time zone you do. I will check the discussion board every day, but I will not check the discussion board constantly. So if there's a homework assignment that's due at midnight on Monday, and you don't start working on it until 10 o'clock on Monday, and you have a question, there's no way I'm going to answer that question between 10 o'clock at night and midnight when it's due. So my strong advice to you is don't procrastinate to do the homework. Do the homework early so you can ask questions if you have them. And then you're going to submit your homework through Blackboard, and all of your homework will take the form of an Excel file. So you'll be uploading Excel files with your problems on them. Okay, so that's it. Every week it's the same thing. Then you're going to have 3 exams, and the 3 exams will be done on Excel, entirely on Excel. There'll be problems, just like the problems you did in your homework. So it's problems, problems, problems. So you read about the problems, I show you how to do the problems, you do the problems on your own, and then you do the problems again in an exam. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now let me show you briefly, the Blackboard site to show you how this works. So you can see here that I have a folder here for every week in the class. Well, I haven't completed them yet, but I have a folder here to begin every week. This is the due date. So you have to do all of the work in this folder, has to be completed before midnight on Monday, the 28th of January. And before midnight, that means no later than 11:59 p.m. on the 28th of January. You won't be able to submit it after that. So you need to get it done ahead of time. Now, if I click on this folder, it's going to show me the things that you need to do. So here's a quiz. So you're going to have to read chapter 2 in your text. It's an open book quiz. You can take the quiz 2 times before the deadline, and only your highest score will be recorded. It's a multiple choice quiz. There's a quiz for every chapter. So you read chapter 2, you click on this, you take the quiz. You don't like the score, you take the quiz again. It's open book. After you've done that, you can see that there are a couple of videos here about frequency distributions and histograms. They're easy to understand videos. They're done by the Khan Academy if you have any experience with them. They're YouTube videos that will help you understand. You can watch these before you take the quiz if you want. Okay, then down here, this is a video. This is a demo video showing you how to do the homework for this chapter. And then finally, if you click down here, this is the homework file. So this shows what homework problems are due. That's 3.4, 3.7, 3.11, 319, 321. These problems are in your book. If you click on this, it will download an Excel file, and the Excel file may have some data on it so that you don't have to type it all in. And then you just complete this file and you send it back to me as your homework. And that's everything that you need to do for that chapter. And it's the same thing every week, week after week after week. It's the same thing. Only the material is different. Let me show you. I don't have a discussion board on this one yet. Let me just go backwards and show you, for instance, here on introductions. So here's a discussion board, and this is the first thing you're going to have to do. And it tells you what you're going to do. You're going to watch the introductory video, and then you're going to create your own introductory video. So if I click on this, now I'm creating this video right now, so it's not posted yet. What you're going to do is you're going to create your own video here. You're going to start a new thread and post your video. Okay, and then I can respond to your video. It'll be the same thing in the discussions for the homework, is that you will post a thread if you want to ask a question, and other students can answer your question, or I'll answer your question. So anyway, that's what the class is all about. Don't hesitate to contact me if you're unclear about any of this, and I look forward to working with you.